But, there would be a compromise. You try Haroun first, and if he's convicted, then you move on to Bashir. If he's acquitted, Bashir, obviously the indictment falls. But, so that may be a solution at the end of the day, but it's not a comfortable one, and it's even less comfortable, obviously, for friends of the West. And Bashir is a friend of China, and to an extent of Russia. The Americans who ordered torture and authorized torture are even less likely to come before the ICC. Well, they won't, unless there's a Security Council reference, and America will, of course, block it. But it's interesting, nonetheless, I think that the great thing about international justice, people say, oh, it's selective. My answer to that is, thank goodness it's at least selecting some. It won't admittedly select Bush or Blair, but it will, I think, promote, it lays down rules. You make these rules in relation to unprepossessing people. People then have to abide by them, or at least may be held to account if they don't. The Americans, it's interesting how the Ulstotter case, which was one of the minor Nuremberg trials, the trial of the lawyers, has now become a basis for looking at the complicity of John Yoo and various of the Bush lawyers, literally Bush lawyers in the Australian meaning of that phrase, who advised, for example, that torture, you could get away with torture because torture was defined as causing pain, the equivalent to loss of a bodily organ. And so, you know, pulling out of fingernails and waterboarding was quite okay. It's that kind of advice, which was so obviously wrong and perverted, that is being used now in Europe to devise indictments of certain American lawyers. So you know, it may probably will come to nothing, but there in the end. But these, they won't happen again. I don't think that lawyers for any future administration will be prepared to turn the law upside down, as some of the White House lawyers did in the past.
Well, thank you very much. And by what power do we have to end this session? Fortunately, we are keepers of Geoffrey's schedule. He's giving the keynote address tomorrow at the Commonwealth Lawyers Association meeting. So he will still make himself available for the next few minutes for anyone who'd like to come down and greet him and get a signature for your book. Thank you very much for coming.